Welcome, Tiger parents. The AHS counseling team looks forward to working with you and your student. We'll cover registration, course selection, info on transfers such as intra and interdistrict transfers, and deadlines. My name is Emily Silvera, and I'm an academic counselor at Arcata High.
Hi, my name is Dina Fall, and I am also an academic counselor at Arcata High. I am going to be covering the registration process. Tomorrow, your 8th grader's teacher will be passing out a blue registration form and a 9th grade course request form, as well as a copy of the Arcata High School course catalog. We are asking families to complete these forms and return them to your student's 8th grade teacher no later than next Friday, January 28th. We'll be visiting all of our feeder schools to collect these forms the following week. We will now go over each of the forms. What you see on the screen right now is the registration form. It's pretty simple. We are asking for basic demographic information about you and your student. The form asks for your student's cell phone number. If your student has one, please be sure to include it. Sometimes counselors need to get in touch with students over the summer to discuss their class schedules. And if we have their cell phone numbers, it makes it a whole lot easier for us to reach them. Your email is also a very important part of the registration form, as Arcata High does a lot of our communication through email. So please be sure to include that. I'm now going to cover course selection. You and your student will choose 6 courses. 4 of those courses are required courses for all freshmen: English, Math, Frosh PE, and Health Technology Essentials. 2 of those classes are electives that you and your student get to choose. Electives depend on your student's interests and goals after high school. You'll notice in a minute when we show you the 9th grade course request form that listed at the bottom of the form are all the courses that are open to freshmen. Here is the 9th grade course request form. So this form is a little more involved than the registration form. It may look overwhelming, and this process may seem overwhelming, but we're hoping to provide you with some tips tonight that will make the process easier. So first at the top, your student will write their name, and then you will select either yes if your student plans to take orchestra next year. If not, you'll check the no box. Orchestra is the only class that we offer 0 period, and the class starts at 7:20 a.m. So below that, you'll see we have those 4 courses listed that we talked about, because all freshmen take English, a semester of Health, and a semester of Technology Essentials, Frosh PE, and a math class. Let's talk about English. Most 9th graders will enroll in English 1 CP. CP stands for College Prep. English 1 is for students who have had gaps in their learning or who struggle with English. Moving on to math, about 80% of our students in 9th grade start in Integrated Math 1. We also offer Math 1, which is a pre-algebra class. That might be good if your student struggles in math or has fallen behind. For English and math, if you are unsure of which classes your student should take, your student's current math and English teachers are the ones who you need to talk to. They will be making recommendations for your student's English level and also your student's math level. Many 8th grade teachers will be discussing their recommendations with 8th graders over the coming week, but you can also reach out to your students' 8th grade teachers if you have questions. So now's the hardest part. The form asks for 2 electives. The classes that you and your students select will depend on their interests as well as their goals after high school. Maybe you have a student who's very academically driven. Your student may want to choose a foreign language, a fine art that meets 4-year college entrance requirements, or a college prep science class. Science is another area that can be tricky, but 8th grade teachers will also be recommending which class or classes might be the best fit for your student. Please note that our biology class is a very fast-paced, rigorous course. It is open to freshmen, but if your student wants to take this class, we really recommend that you talk with their 8th grade science teacher to be sure that they feel that this is a good choice for them. So again, if your student wants to take science and you're not sure which science class would be the best fit for them, talking with their 8th grade science teacher is the way to go. So maybe your student is interested in the industrial arts or more hands-on opportunities. They might be looking at classes like metal shop, wood shop, or ag mechanics. If your student likes technology, we have lots of classes in that area, such as interactive media, where they'll get to design a video game, makers, and even robotics. There are tons of electives, and really there's something for everyone. To learn more about our elective offerings, check out the Arcata High School course catalog that your student will be receiving tomorrow at school. You can read about all of the classes offered at Arcata High, as well as view high school graduation requirements and what classes students need to take if they plan to go straight to a four-year college after high school. If your student has an IEP, an individualized education program, one of their electives needs to be core support, and you'll want to write that on one of the elective lines. This class will give your student a period with a resource teacher who will help them in all of their classes. The last thing that is needed on the course request form is an alternate class. We do our very best to get everyone in their first choices of classes, and usually most of the time that happens, but sometimes it's just not possible. So the alternate that your student lists might be one of the elective classes that they end up with on their schedule. Please make sure that your student puts some thought into this class. The last thing I want to talk about is that in the semester that your student has Tech Essentials, the counseling department will spend a week in that class next year. We will discuss all sorts of things with students, really just acquainting them with us, letting them know that what we do as counselors, how they can access us and sign up to see us. But we're also going to talk about options after high school, such as community college, four-year college, vocational and technical schools, and career choices. We'll cover with your student graduation requirements and what is needed if your student plans to go to a four-year college directly after high school. Towards the end of that week, we'll spend a couple days helping students create what's called a four-year plan, where they map out the classes they plan to take in high school based on their goals after high school. The four-year plan is a really integral part of what we do with students, and we revisit it with students every year so that we can help them review and revise it based on their interests and goals and as they change as they move through high school.
All of this information can be found on the Arcata High School website. This is what it looks like. You'll just need to press the 9th grade registration information, which will take you to this page. You'll see here all of the forms that you can fill out online if you'd like. If you do fill it out online, then you will not need to submit a paper copy. What will also be on here is a link to videos of all of our electives that we offer at Arcata High. Please keep in mind that January 28th is the deadline for all registration and course request forms. If you filled out a paper copy, they are due to your student's 8th grade teacher. If you filled them out online, then it went directly to us. But again, the deadline is January 28th. I'm now going to go over inter and intra-district transfers. These forms are essential. For inter-districts, this is if you live outside of the No-Hum School District. And intra-districts are for those who live inside the No-Hum School District. Intra-district transfers are for those who live in McKinleyville, Fieldbrook, West Haven, Trinidad, and Oric, but don't live within the school, the Arcata High School boundaries. Inter-district transfers are those who live outside of the district, that's south of Indianola Cutoff, including Freshwater, Neeland, Eureka, any city south of Eureka, Hoopaw, Burnt Ranch, and Willow Creek. The deadline for these forms is February 1st. And please keep in mind that this is a hard deadline. If you turn in a form after this deadline, your student may not be approved to attend Arcata High. So please keep in mind, inter and intra-district forms are due February 1st. Thank you very much for your time. We welcome the class of 2026, and we look forward to working with you and your student. Go Tigers!